SourKidsProductions.
You guys are fucking canceled.
Bienvenidos. What's up, everybody? It's the Cancel Show. I'm here with your boy Manny, Mr. 817. I'm making it happen.
Mr. 817.
I'm keeping it.
You're keeping it real.
Real, son. Hanging out with the 682.
Don't fucking call me 682.
682.
And I'm Lupe Chavez. And today we have a very special guest. He is the man that talks about everything, and Latino everything. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Latino everything.
Introduce yourself, bro.
My name is Crispin Valentin. I host the Global Latin Factor podcast where we talk about Latino everything. And yeah, I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you for your time. My apologies for being here.
No.
Like running behind like a Mexicano does. But
that's how I
it's all right,
expected,
bro. With all these rappers that we deal with, we used to people being late.
but I'm below the hour limit. So
No,
but at least you apologize. Everybody else like, we're ready now.
Yeah, we're here. How long is it gonna take?
yeah.
Damn, bro.
Not even a hi first?
like
You
hello.
gonna shake my hand?
Right? Just
Yeah, all right. So what's up, man? How's everything going?
Chilling, man. Just working on the podcast, growing the podcast. Doing a couple interviews just to spread the word about the podcast, what we doing over there.
yeah.
And yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I saw that on Spotify. You reached a lot of countries, man.
Yeah.
How many countries have you reached already?
I can't recall off the bat. I have to look it up, but it's quite a bit to be honest. But it's just being consistent, and I appreciate you having me. By the way, thank you.
Thank you, man.
But I can't recall off the top of my head how many there was, but there was quite a bit, and we just grateful that we were able to learn how to distribute to different places.
Right,
but y'all were doing some of the similar things as far as the countries and stuff. So that's
I think
pretty cool.
we did. I don't know, but I think it was 6 countries. South Africa,
Hey, this motherfucker can name them all.
North Africa, Philippines. Yeah, I'm not counting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, man. You were doing no numbers out there. You were doing big numbers, reaching.
And you just recently won some awards too.
Well, it wasn't an award, but
you were like in the top.
Yeah. So a blog, it's called Feed Stop or Feed Spot, something like that. I apologize if I messed up the name. They deal with different lists that they do. They curate different lists from different places.
Yeah. And
they had us at the best Latino podcasts of 2022. So they made a list of the best 100 podcasts, and there's all kinds of different ones. Ones that are well known, Latino USA, which is like one of the toppest one of the bigger ones, and then there's a couple other ones. NPR has one, Alt Latino, a lot of them. So we were originally 50 something in the list, and then later on there was an update, and we were number 35. It's a bloggers list. I think they do account for a lot of the things that you put out, such as how often you post, your numbers, and engagements and different things like that. So they put that list together, and we're 35 right now. So, to me, I feel significant, just to know that there's thousands of podcasts out in the internet, Latino too, even though we're just picking up the pace as far as putting them more out there, right? To just have somebody to look and create a list, and then some of the names you recognize, and you'll be on that list, and you've been doing it for almost 2 years. I'm like, man, that's what's up.
It's all that work, bro. You've been grinding hard.
Yeah.
That's one thing I told him. I'm like, when we first got started, I'm like, I kept on, I would, occasionally peek into your when you're doing your podcast, just because I was like, let me see what Crispin's doing.
Yeah.
Let's see who he has on. I'm like, I got to get there. That's what we're trying to do.
And I had the honor of interviewing both of y'all, and then the other individual of y'all's trio at that time, and I appreciate it. I mean, again, it's a lot of times it's about creating good conversation, whoever you have. I was talking today with shout out to Mandy Red. I was interviewing her. So I was telling her, I just like digging into, like looking into stuff for people, like, especially if they're already there and they have things, then I just like looking into those things that they have done before, and I like to put it in order and then create a good conversation with them.
Right.
And I like the feeling of creating a feeling with them. Then hopefully that can relate to people listening, that could connect with that person, the message they're saying, or their life. Whatever life event happened, they can maybe connect, and maybe they can feel that they're not alone, or they can feel that they can do it too.
Right.
Because I've been not against, but a lot of these celebrities really make you feel like they are that good of what they do, right?
Yeah, they make you feel like it's out of reach.
But my thing is that you are able to do that reachable thing. Like if you put the effort to it, like they just happen to do that, right? Or maybe they got with somebody that was able to put them in that position. But you are just as capable, and there's a little bit of frustration on my part, like as far as the idolizing for the celebrities. Like, man, do you know that you got the potential to do it if you wanted to do something like that, if you really wanted to? But you just got to put the effort. You know, they're not anything different than I. And it's the same thing whenever I interview anybody, whoever it is. I got the pleasure of interviewing GT Garza, a real cool guy, but some people might see him as being a real known, which he is. But to me, it was just a regular person, like a human being.
Yeah.
But knowing what he has done,
Yeah.
you know, not saying that he's any less around me anymore, but just knowing that he's a person, but he has done significant things. But that's because he's willing to put those hours and that work, and a lot of people are not willing to do it, and that's respectable. But I just want to relate to him in a more human, and then let him know, and then get a great interview with him about the things that I've seen, about a video that sparked curiosity, more questions about something that I saw that maybe somebody didn't like. Keep looking into it or keep asking that question.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
But your story is unique, though, right? I want to start from the beginning because I mean I like how you're able to communicate with people, and get information that only from people in their camp would know. But first, I want to say thank you for your service.
You're welcome. I won't do it again, but you're welcome. Right now.
People don't know he is military.
Yes, I'm a U.S. Army veteran.
Thank you, sir.
I went to Iraqi Freedom 2004, 2005. I did a solid 10 months in country.
Yeah, and you happen to be, at that time were you an immigrant, man?
I was I've always been an immigrant, but I was a resident at that time. There's a lot of confusion with people. I don't know why, but it's understandable. If you're a resident, you can serve in the military.
Really?
Yes. If you're a resident, you can serve in the U.S. military as long as you fall under that criteria. They need you over the age of 18 or 17 with a parental guide. I don't know if it's still the case. Not over the age of, I think it's 35. Even if you meet the physical requirements or whatever.
Darn, I can't go no more.
There is horror stories about people that the recruiter got them in and they were illegal, and that can happen. But they sell them the story that if you do this, you're going to become legal, and that's not correct. Because I know of stories, and you can look them up on Google, you can look them up on YouTube, of stories of somebody that went to war, fought for this country, and they've looked at the paperwork, and before you know it, guess what? You're still illegal in this country. So guess what?
Wow.
Send them back to Mexico, whatever country they were originally from. There's thousands of stories out there like that. And it's sad that the recruiters get to do that. I'm not saying every recruiter. I know they got a job to do, but there's certain ones that do certain things like that do that.
Right.
So not to crush your dreams if you're not. I don't know about the dreamer situation. You have to ask, get well informed if you're able to serve or not. But as far as me, that I know for sure, resident minimum. And then even after serve, you still have to put in your application to become a citizen. They don't just give it to you after serving this country. Wow. Which I think, to me, I feel like,
no, you deserve it, right? You got bullets and everything.
You went to war, give me my shit. I almost died for y'all motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Like,
so maybe that was part of the reason why it took me a long time to get my citizenship, because maybe I felt a little entitled to where I need to, y'all owe me this.
Yeah.
But technically, no, because you still have to go through the process, pay the fee for the application, which
no discount because you're a veteran.
No,
nada.
Somebody had mentioned that on the application, but when I remember seeing it, and my brother helped me out. Shout out going out to Chavez and Volkov, which is the ones that helped do my process. Because what happened is after I got done with the military, I was dealing most likely with some post-traumatic illnesses because of the shit that you get to see over there in country, right? You get to see all kinds of stuff that. When people make fun of Ukraine and all that, I don't find it nothing funny about anything that people say about that, because I know what war looks like. Like, right. I know what war looks like. I know what it smells like. I know what it feels like. All that. So with that, it's like, man, I don't appreciate that whenever people do that. But yeah, once I got back, like pretty dealing with some stuff, I went back into the real world. Shortly after I got discharged honorably. So I got honorably discharged from the Army, and then I just proceeded. They send you off. The saying when you come back from, this is a real story. When you come back from country, at least from when I was going, they ask you about 10 questions. How do you feel? And I can't remember them all, but this is some of them. How do you feel? Did you see anything crazy? And a couple other ones like that. And with that, they evaluate if you're okay to go into society.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people really aren't okay. Like,
yeah,
but who's going to admit to go to further stuff? You know?
Yeah.
Even as a soldier, as at least for my unit, it was mostly men. Who's going to admit that they have a problem? That they have seen some stuff? That maybe they started some kind of abuse, alcoholism, or whatever the case might have been. You know, because even though we didn't have alcohol, there was access to alcohol.
Right.
We always find a way. But who's gonna admit that they have a problem?
Yeah,
nobody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I saw some guy getting his head blown up. I think I'm gonna have issues later on."
There's a documentary on that where the people that served, and they have PTSD, well, they committed. I mean, I guess got thrown back over because of like little petty stuff, like disrupting or whatever they did, to get them thrown over. But, in their hearts, they're still patriots, like strong patriots. They're at the border, saluting to the flag and all that. And
that's what I was telling you, the stories of people that were resident. Because even though you're a resident, so I got myself in a lot of trouble. Before I left, I got a DWI. When I came back a few years later, I went still thinking the way to alleviate and live. Because we went to war, we came back, right? So we didn't die over there. But to celebrate, like every day we have to just party. And my way of partying was going out to the clubs, drinking a lot, and still driving because I felt like I was always in control. And then I got a DUI. And then I had a few PIs. And I had issues with alcohol. It's obvious. Until I came to, like, hey, because as a resident, if you get in trouble, I think it's 3 or 4 times, like DUIs and stuff, they take that away. So a permanent resident is not a permanent resident. They can snatch that and take it away, and you'll be back in Mexico. Even as a veteran, it doesn't matter.
Damn.
Yep. And there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of patriots still that serve for this country. They're in the border with the flag because they feel there's so much part of this country because they went and bled and did all kinds of crazy stuff for this country, but this country didn't give a shit about them. But don't get me wrong, I love the U.S. I'm not against the military. I'm just sharing the facts that happen as far as the things that I know that happen every day, which I don't feel it's okay.
Right. No, and you're right. It's not okay. Because there's a lot. Even it goes as far back as World War II. Where there's a lot of Mexican immigrants that went to war. Who
were even in the Civil War.
That? They were. Yeah, I mean, and this is fucked up that we Mexicans don't, or Latinos just in general, don't get the credit that they deserve when it comes to like World War II or just all Vietnam and all that. Because I think we made up like 1/3 of the fighting forces at any given time for almost every war.
Yeah. Right now, we cover a large amount of Latinos in the military, in the forces in general. So we are a big part of the reason why the country is the way they are by fighting those wars. And right now, currently being part of the military itself.
Yeah, and then I feel like whenever you get taught about World War II, World War I, and they show you pictures, and they show you all the white colonels and all the white soldiers going into battle, but then at the same time you're like, there's a lot of Hispanics in there, and we don't get no attention. There's a lot of black people in there that don't get attention.
Yeah, they're probably done it on purpose because they were trying to sell an image to the masses. But you're right. Like that's why I like to do the things that I do. Sometimes when I like the interviewing style of mine, I like the long format interview. But for me, sometimes if something happens, they're not able to make it, whatever, I have something ready or people that I like to talk about. And certain soldiers that went to, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's World War, they have Latinos. You have your story. You'll be able to find it. And I'm able to take some stuff. Usually Google or some Wikipedia or something like that I find some stuff and I just talk about them. Talk about, hey, this is so-and-so, Sergeant Benavides, Master Sergeant Benavides. He went to Vietnam. He got blown up, but still he got better, went through some therapy. He went back to he's Special Forces. He's a Latino. He went back to freaking Vietnam. Got shot like 30-something times and rescued 7 of his people and got the Medal of Honor as a Latino, coming from this little small town here in Texas.
See, but
that's a movie to me.
Yeah, that is a hero. But then us, would never hear about that.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
And that's some of the reason why I do the things that I do, because I don't appreciate the fact that that's not, even though there's a lot of Latino podcasts. Shout out to every single Latino podcast. Would love to collaborate and link with y'all as far as doing different things like we're doing with y'all. But we really need to continue to spread this beautiful stories that they have, because there is a lot of stories, there is a lot of individuals, women and men, that have fought for this country that we don't get talked about, because we only presented a certain curriculum as far as who the heroes or who the war, but there was like the ones that were actually doing the dirt, they were actually the ones that were the actual soldiers that were doing that fighting, that were exchanging fire with the enemies,
Right.
So
yeah, I remember I don't know if you ever saw the John Leguizamo.
Oh yeah, I enjoy that. There's History for Morons.
Yeah, History for Morons.
Latino History for Morons is freaking beautiful. Done.
I watched
comedy.
most of it.
Yep.
I haven't finished it, but man, it was an incredible thing. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
If you're a Latino, you need to go check out him. He provides you comedy in addition to providing you with statistics of the things like he talked about World War II, how much we were involved in the Civil War and World War II, how about all the things that were done that they don't talk about in the books. And he's a big advocate about it, and I'm all for that. And I love that documentary. Some of the things I say that is some of from that documentary, because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I had started watching it, and I haven't finished it yet because I'm watching it at work. So I'm watching it in pieces,
No, not at work, bro.
Not at work. I don't give a
fuck. Never at work.
No, I'm watching that shit at work. I don't care. They gonna do? Fire me?
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. When did you come? When you came back, I guess. When did you say I'm gonna start my own podcast?
Oh, it was years.
Yeah.
So first it started with I was at a job at a call center, electricity company. They laid us off, so I wanted to do a song. So there was a dude did some music, so I wanted to do a song, and then I got into the little bit of the music industry. But within that journey, I thought it would be pretty cool to start a show, because a lot of the times we struggle with getting our songs played in different. At that time, there was really not a big podcast spectrum, but there was a lot of internet shows that were popping up. So I'm like, it would be cool if we stay consistent that way. That weekly, we get to play our own music, and then we get to talk to some local artists, and then we show them love, and then they show us love back. So I used to go with this motto, even on the flyers, way back in 2016, 15, show love, get love. And that's what the hashtag was. I show you love, you show me love. It's not like an obligation, but it's only understood if I show you love. And that's how we grew. We did the show with for a little while, the radio show. We actually did it for 3 years, and we won Show of the Year 1 year of 120 something shows. And we were one of the ones that won Show of the Year for that year for the entire network. So within a year and some change as far as the time we've done it. So I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. Yeah.
It's badass, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I went to FM radio for a little while. I was at KNON on a Saturday show for some time. I did it for about a year. And then after that, I started getting real weird about social media and everything else. And I just needed it to be, if y'all start getting thoughts about certain things and those thoughts come in threes, like if I think one thing one time and then it comes up again real strongly about certain things and then it comes again, then I need to move on. So 3 times I said, you need to get away from the radio. You need to take a break. So I stopped. I deactivated my Facebook. I went and just chill with my family, which is important. I haven't done that because I was busy every weekend doing something. So I needed to go in there and be with my family. Then I just started getting the itch of getting back on the mic, and I started creating the name. So big shout out going out to the name itself. It's a funny story. So if I was to have a radio show, I was thinking what would be a good name for it. So I was thinking of the Latin Factory. Don't try to take it because I'm still going to use it eventually. The Latin Factory, because it'll be like people, it was a Latin station, so they'll be listening to it like they're in the factory as they're working. We're playing some badass jams and things like that. And then my co-host at that time, her name was Rose. Y'all can find her on Instagram. She does modeling here still locally. Yeah. And actually, no, she's been traveling and she's been traveling out of state. So she said, how about the Latin Factor? I'm like, I like
You were like,
that.
nah.
No, I like that. I like the ring of it. I'm like, oh hell
Nah,
yeah.
but you can't let them know, like, nah, bro, it's cool. I don't like it.
Nah, I wasn't that type of person.
Yeah.
But I liked it, so I'm like, hell yeah. So I made the logo first.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, when you're creating, for me, my way of creating is establishing the name and then building everything around it. So once I had the actual name, then I realized Billboard did a Latin Factor, but they were talking to reggaetoneros and nothing to do with anything that I had vision in. Yeah, of course, talking to reggaetoneros, but nothing more. So I'm like, you know what? Let me switch it. The Global Latin Factor podcast. And we're a podcast. We're not anything more. And that's how it grew. We rearranged the name. And then February of 2021, we launched to start recording. And we had a lot of episodes pre-recorded before we even released in May, because we wanted to make sure that we had some ready to go so we would never miss. And then after that, started going live. Since May 5th, 2021, we went live, and then we haven't stopped.
Yeah. So how many shows do you got like pre-recorded? Like, if you had to guess right now, how many shows do you have pre-recorded?
Probably 4 or 5. So what happened was we account for a lot of things, right? Like at one time, I had a co-host, and then she ghosted me. Shout out to Mia. I don't know what happened, Mia, but I hope I didn't offend you. She ghosted me. So those had to be washed off, and then we had to do some new ones. And then, of course, we upgraded to a different quality. We started shooting 4K. And then all of a sudden, those episodes the older episodes are not looking that sharp. So we had to get rid of those too. And now I think we have like 4 or 5, maybe, possibly.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot of grinding. The people don't realize how much work goes into this in general. Because it's not about just
showing up
and talking to somebody and regardless, a lot of the time all I do is really show up and just have conversations with people. I really don't do a lot to prepare, just because I think that's my style of podcasting, the way it works for me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, just getting people to come on your show, messaging people, talking to people, trying to schedule people in, having people cancel on you.
Yep.
Trying to think of something to do because somebody canceled on you, knowing that you already have the studio time already paid. It's like, it's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's not just, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to say a couple things and, we're going to make this content and make it great. It doesn't really work that way. Yeah.
And then the content is always going to be king. You have to just continuously, but you're right. Like, so it was about 3 years before we actually went live after the original idea of the first logo came to be. And then once we went live, it took 3 years. And then, not to mention, you're right, the money, the research, there's no booking agent if you're a smaller podcast, so you have to book your own person. And then you book them, and then you're right, what if something happens? And to me, when I started, I was a little frustrated for the people that cancel. But that's why I started cancel show. But that's why I started coming up with the solo podcast, to where that's how we originally started anyway. So let's go back to doing some of the solo ones where I talk about 2 Latinos, whether it's chocolate, tacos, which came from Latin America, Latinos, all those. And let's implement them in an episode in case something like that happens. So we always record regardless. Those are shorter format episodes. They're less than 20 minutes. But it's still an episode.
It's still content. It's still something that has your name on it.
Yeah, and you're right. There's a lot. Appreciate it. I really, truly appreciate you, because coming from a person that does a podcast, I understand what it takes. I understand the cost. I understand the timing. I appreciate the fact that you checking me, because or whoever it was that was messaging back, because it is true. You have to be on, like, make sure that we're still on, because there's time, there's booking time that you have, there's recording time, all kinds of stuff has to happen before it to even be live. So
because we had a podcast. Well, we had last week's, and they had car trouble getting up here.
Yeah,
so we're already here. We already got Kenny over here dressed up with his best hoodie on, and he's ready to go. So I'm like, we already got this scheduled. We already fucking paid for this. We got to make something happen.
Yeah.
And he's over here like, hey, maybe we can get this person. I'm like, man, fuck it. We're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And then we just do a podcast with ourselves. And, at the end of the day, it's not, you don't lose anything by just recording something and making something good.
But for y'all to be in case like me, something happened. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if you already have some topics that y'all want to talk about already from that, in case that happens, like a plan B, because I have a plan B already and a plan C.
Maybe we should have a plan B.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it will go smoother as far as like preparation is key to create great content. Don't get me wrong. I understand you do on the fly, but I think you still do a little bit of something to get your mind going. Like, you know what I mean? And even if you do it out the cuff, you already related the John Leguizamo with what I do, because it's a little bit kind of similar to kind of what I do in a not a bigger scale because he's more famous, but kind of like that, right? In a bigger, more robust scale as far as everything that we can talk about. That's why I said we talk about Latino everything, every single freaking contribution that we done. Soldiers, food, music. You can't go around without like relating to something that's Latino, that has a Latino something in there,
right?
Like whether it's tacos, whether it's music, reggaeton right now mostly popping, you can't get away with it.
No, yeah,
we've been here, we continue to be here,
that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that there is a Latino footprint in this country.
Yeah,
because it funded wars, it helped out with wars, it fucking did everything that has happened in this country had some kind of Latino help with it.
Yeah.
But it's never spoken of.
Yeah. Did you know the Spanish was the first language spoken in America 40-something years before English in Georgetown? Even though not all Latino countries speak Spanish, Brazil doesn't, but Spanish was the first language spoken here in some, it was some kind of mission that they had. I think it's Agustin. They were already speaking Spanish way before English.
Thank you, Spaniards.
I'm saying. But it's something that we happen to know now as Latinos, whether we want it or not. No, it's Spanish. Yeah. That's what we speak, whether we want it or not. Of course, we would love to go back to my native tongue, whatever it was. But
we would never know. And it's crazy, like just in general for like Hispanics, you know, like even like whenever you look back in slavery and black culture, you know, black people lost something that they can never get back because they lost the roots to where they came from, and you know, just everything that made them who they were.
Right.
So they can't go back and be like, oh well, my great grandma spoke this language in Africa, you know, because they don't know that.
Yeah.
But it's the same for us because we don't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stripped from us from the colonizers, you could say, but you know, I want to feel a certain way, and even I don't understand everything as far as energies and traumas or whatever. Yeah. Well, when certain things are said about Spaniards, it makes me feel kind of funny towards them, and I don't even know that. And I've been to Spain, and I was like, F y'all. but it wasn't that. It's just a weird feeling of like, I don't know, like a gut feeling of like
that indigenous hatred.
I guess, bro. But again, I don't understand it fully. I know eventually it's done, and you know, you're right. We can't go back to our original roots, but I just like, like damn.
It's just because also too, you got to look back, and it's just a history that you probably won't ever know, that we can't comprehend fully because it got deleted.
I'm gonna do soon here. I'm gonna try to find the best ancestry to do a test, and I'm trying to figure how close can I. I know it's not gonna be. I know it's gonna be very general, and I know it's not gonna be specific. But I'm gonna do to see where or the lineage or what is, you know, to maybe just kind of get an idea of maybe where my people came from, or you know what I have as far as my content on my bloodline or whatever.
Because he did an ancestry.
I actually did.
How was it?
It showed me I'm indigenous as fuck, bro.
Yeah, he's like 80% indigenous Mexican.
Yeah, but okay. So the last episode that we released, we were talking to Corazon. She's an artist, like she paints and stuff, and we were talking about that. And I kind of simplify what I feel like. I don't know. I'm not a scholar or whatever, but based on everything that I heard, it was even some of our Latinos. I want to accept maybe that the Latinos were here, but eventually, if humanity originated from Africa, 200 to 300,000. That's estimated. That's not a fact. That's just a guess of the times in Africa. Within a few people, there was a lot of intermingling with themselves because that's the only option at that time until they started getting bigger and started. What are we by nature? We're fucking curious. We're very curious. We want to leave this country, or we want to leave this earth already and go to another place. So it's not too far fetched to think that our ancestors way in Africa started to explore other places and let's find. Let's see what's going on. We're running out of food. Let's go walk this way. But we talking about 200, 300,000 estimated, not a fact. And then they go to Europe and they interact with the Neanderthals and all them and whatever other type of species was still here. We're talking about the modern human.
Right.
And then they go to Siberia. And in Siberia, there's a land bridge that connects to the Americas. Apparently, there was people way before that already in the Americas. It's a possibility because, again, we're curious. Maybe somebody took a boat and maybe they went in there. But the land bridge connected to the Americas and they got to the U.S. first. And then they started migrating all the way south. There's bloodlines from natives connected to people in South America. It's the same crap. So that means that we just kept traveling south until we couldn't anymore. Until we couldn't anymore, right? Eventually the land bridge closed. We were not able to come back where we were. Spaniards came and then they started intermingling again, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, but I don't doubt that you will be native because again, there's so much native blood.
Let me show you real quick.
That's a lot of native blood in us, whether we want it or not. Look at me. I get a lot of this, right?
That's fine.
Drop your phone.
Drop the phone. You can read
it. Cowboys, you don't want me. Okay, so you got indigenous America and Mexico, 83%. Spaniard, 8%. Basque, which I don't know where they're from.
I don't know what that is either.
3%. Sardinian, 2%, whatever that's at. I think you like fish, sardines or something like that. That's what I thought. Portuguese, I can see it. You look a little Ronaldo-ish to me.
Yeah. That's what I said.
It's those genes that recede eventually. Like they come to light, you know. You're wearing your great-great-grandpa's nose probably or his eyes. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that was my great-grandfather.
Senegal, again, the roots for humanity started from whether you want it or not. A lot of us are going to have, whether we want it or not, like African blood.
Yeah.
And Scotland, too. You know?
I don't see the Scottish.
They're drinking.
Yeah. But, that's, like, I recommend it to everybody. Try it. My mom just
Which one was that, though?
This is
23andMe?
Ancestry.
Ancestry.com?
My mom just found out that she is from a tribe. Because when she went to Mexico, she got to discover more. I think she said the Jackie tribe. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can apply for some benefits, bro. They can give you some free money.
Bro.
No, because you're a high amount as far as native, bro.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. When she went back and was doing all this, she found out. She goes, yeah, this is she belongs to a tribe.
I think you need to retake that test, bro.
So, but
I didn't see no Asian in there.
The one you were talking about, kind of Asian. Okay, so more recently, I've been getting that. Like not recently, but a few times. It was from the Manila. So I've been to Manila before. I've been to Manila. I look just like everybody there, except for my nose. It's a little bit different than theirs. So I have a cute nose, according to them. Some of the ladies said that. So I look just like I look just like a lot of the Filipino people. And I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like I was home, but I didn't feel out of place. So I used to get a lot of that, from people from Guam. And recently I've been getting that I look like the guy from Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah. And then the other day, this guy said that I look like Namor. I'm like,
I knew it. I wanted to
I like Namor, like maybe I can't grow the beard. See, he has a lot of Spaniard because the natives grow mustache and stuff like this, not full beards.
Yeah, they grow what you have.
Yeah,
it took me
exactly
years.
that.
They grow what you have.
This is 10 years right here, guys.
You have more Spaniard or more European because you have a fuller beard. That's just like real stuff. That's like real genetic stuff that passes down to them. The baldness comes a lot from the Europeans, and then the more hair with the natives. So if you're bald, blame it on your European ancestors. Yeah. That's the reason why you are. But
see, it's cool stuff like that. I was like, yeah, it's nice to know.
Yeah, that's why I want to do mine, just to kind of sort of get an idea. Just guessing, I think there's a lot of native.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel there's some kind of connection with Manila, and I think there's a route from the Philippines to Mexico that they used to trade all the time in boats. In fact, the Spaniards used to get the people from Manila, from the Philippines. I'm sorry, from the Philippines because they were really good navigators. So they used to get them to take them to Mexico. So there was a pathway that they had. They traded for years. So what's not to say one of those days? In fact, think about it. Mango Manila, that grew in the Manila, the Philippines, before it went to Mexico.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be that it was taken over there to the area, especially the area where I'm at. I'm from Morelos, the state of Morelos, and they're real tropical weather. So avocados grow there, mangoes, different things like that grow there. So it makes sense. So I feel like maybe a little bit of Filipino, I wouldn't doubt it, but native for sure. And probably a little bit of dash of Spaniard. Because the little town that I'm from is very secluded away from a lot of things. So I don't think maybe there was a lot of mingling with the Spaniards. But my curly hair, like I don't have curly hair, I have a wavy hair.
Right.
But that's not native. That's not a native trait. Because a lot of them have very straight hair. If you look at them, they all have very straight hair. So it couldn't be something. I know there is some Spaniard or some kind of blood like that.
Well, see, when I started that, it was actually a journey. Because I'm gonna tell you a little story. It's my mom. She was an orphan, so but she knows her mom, But me, I don't know my backstory at all, so I don't know where I come from. I don't know what village, what tribe. I don't know nothing.
Right.
So it's kind of like not knowing your place in the world. I'm like, Mom, I got to do this. So shout outs to my sister-in-law, Nikki. She's the one that got it for me, and she goes, "Hey, when I found out, I want to know, my ancestors, like, where do we come from, like, what is passed down to us, or am I like any of them, But like, come to find out, I'm the only one that does martial arts, and at a high level. You know what I mean? I'm really good at that. That's one thing that I have a gift in martial arts. No one else in the family does it. What about creativity? Like, what was there, like a painter, artist, like, all that stuff. So I think it's important to know stuff like that.
I just wanted to do it just cause I know where I come from, but I would like to answer some questions as to certain things that maybe my family goes through that could help us resolve an issue later on. Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons. I'm pretty centered as far as who I am, what I'm not, what I can do, things like that. So, but I want to do it. And the funny thing is that the Corazon, the last episode we just premiered, she found a long lost nephew, which is Mr. Never Die.
Oh shit!
I swear.
What?
Shout out to Mr. Never Die.
Yeah, shout out to the homies, New Wave Click, Animes, G Love.
Hey,
shout out to them. But she found him because of the DNA test, Ancestry.com.
Oh,
they did a test afterwards, and they're related.
Well, this one, it does it. It gives you people that mine gave me a lot.
Yeah, you had like.
Have you gone and reached out to any of them? I
reached out to 2 and I got nervous.
What'd they say? What'd you tell them?
They haven't, like, hi there, this thing says we're family.
Facebook, you found them?
No, on there, automatically.
Oh, you can connect messaging.
It connects you. It shows you, it gives you a list. How are they your cousin and what's all that? Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, hey there, I'm not a pervert.
Don't start off with that.
They're gonna be like, look at this pervert.
I'm not a pervert.
But if they offer the service for you to message, it's only obvious that people are gonna use it. I'm
gonna start messaging. I actually, and this is where I want to, maybe we could get together, but I want to like film. Where I go meet these guys. I want to go meet them in person and be like, hey, what makes you, do something that they like to do.
South Patch Kids on the road. What?
Hey, production, road trip, bro. Get ready on next year.
You got the other homie that does film.
Yeah. I'll take my PO. Like, you got the other homie. Like, never.
You got the other homie.
Joe Nasty over here.
Joe Nasty.
But
you got other stuff going on.
Yeah. He's like, oh, never mind. I don't want nothing to do with that.
So Cancel Show got a OnlyFans. Go out at their OnlyFans.
We go hard for our
subscribe.
Fans.
Literally.
So
funny.
Which one has been your most favorite episode?
They're all.
But there has to be one that's
they're all freaking unique.
It has to be one that you be like,
they're all lovely, bro. They really are. And not to say that because to try to like discourage or this and that, but I have moments that I feel is pretty cool, like GT Garza being shocked that I knew his real name or certain things like that, or when I have a gift. I have a gift to be able to talk to people. For whatever reason, it's been women in the last few episodes and before that we can get very emotional and emotional as far as the episode of certain things that I touch because I'm curious about it, and they get emotional, they get a little teary eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those are very impactful for me, and I hope they are able to help somebody else whenever they watch it, as far as like connecting with them. But every single one of them, man. The ones that I need to sharpen up for sure, because I do a teleprompter, is my solo ones. Those I need to sharpen up. I just need to be able to sharpen up the teleprompter and reading and being able to freestyle. Right. But other than that, they're all my favorite.
Which one has been the craziest one episode?
We didn't really shoot for crazy. We just try to create a good ass vibe. I'm not a goody two shoes, right?
Right.
I'm not. But what I try to portray is, even though the global Latin factor says global Latin factor, it's just for the word's sake. I want to show the people, the person. Yeah. The person that we have. Like, look, this is a freaking Latino that does music. That is a person to first them, not everything else. So I don't shoot for crazy or shock value for the same reason that I just want to make sure that I present them as a person first, that they're doing their thing, that they've been working on a craft and they continue to work on it. And maybe they haven't taken off yet, but I feel like it's a matter of time. And before they take off, and maybe they won't be able to answer me back, but it was pretty cool to have them. Right. So I like to create those moments and showing the person and show a little bit of vulnerability. And I'm really good at what I do as far as the way that an interview is structured. Right. Because I'm not going to give you out the secret, but if you look at the way the episodes, you'll see, I get it. Yeah. So, and then it works like magic.
Yeah, you put a lot of effort and work into how you interview people.
But the kind of connecting with y'all, as far as even y'all, whenever we did y'all's episode, you know. Oh
yeah, we were.
Yeah, you dig deep. You dig real deep.
You dig deep, and that's what I liked about it. I like it.
Yeah, like you get on there, you get on a level where you hit them with some personal shit, and they're like, "What? How the fuck did you know?"
But I presented in a way that is not disrespectful. It's presented nicely. Yeah, if you don't want to answer me, you don't have to, and I'm cool with it. I maybe push back a little bit just to make sure that, are you okay? And the only reason why I would ask back is, what if somebody can benefit off of it? I get it, you don't want to answer, but if somebody can benefit, if you want to say it. If not, I respect it. I mean, they already took their time to come over here. You know, we're doing each other a favor with a great episode. I'm not going to push them that way. So they're not really too crazy episodes because I don't shoot for that. I shoot for having them, present them as a person, having great content, having great story, and highlight the person or who I'm talking about. If you notice, everything's catered to the person, the thumbnail specific to that particular person. There's thought behind the person of the thumbnail. If y'all look at y'all's, I make sure that I include y'all's logos in there with it. Yeah, center and y'all's pictures. I love that. And y'all's pictures. If you notice all the other ones, if you hear the interview, you'll find why the thumbnail was designed the way it was. There's different ones, and all that is thought of before. Yeah, I think about. I do a lot of quality control, so I listen to the interview in full. All the interviews in full before they air to make sure there's nothing that I didn't like. There's something happened, like I sneezed and I have to cut it. I don't like that. So once I get those, I get the feeling of what I need, and then I design the thumbnail around it. So it's not like just putting a picture with a thing. It's cool, don't get me wrong, and I love thumbnails, but I just wanted to be personal for the person who came, that they feel that way. Right. That they happy to share with their people whenever they get it, and I send it to them. Hey, here's the episode. If I want to check it out, share it with your people. I haven't done that a lot because a lot of times I tag them is only self-explained. Yeah. But I need to be able to tell people, hey, here you go, share it with your people. Yeah. But I want it to look really good so they can present it to their people and be proud of presenting it to their people.
Yeah, you definitely do your just work in general, from how you start to how you finish it to all the work you put in. It's just incredible. And I wish I had that work ethic. But I don't, because you put a lot of research and thought into everything that you do and how you do it. And I'm more of a, hey, I'm just gonna wing this real quick.
I was gonna say you put work into it, but see, you're a man of many other talents, though. You're not, which you're also A DJ?
I dab a little bit. I'm not the official title of DJ. I actually, to be honest, I don't want to even.
Modest. No,
I don't want to even claim that I'm a DJ.
It's
because the DJ spectrum is very strange. Shout out to all my DJ homies, but y'all know you're strange and weird. But I don't even want that. If I was to ever, you will never see DJ on it because I respect too much of what they do as far as the time. Maybe you'll have my name, Crispin Valentin, providing tunes or whatever if I ever decide to. But I've done some events. I've done some
tune provider. I like that.
Yeah. So shout out to the DJ Cream. DJ Cream Eventos passed me a lot of gigs, and sometimes he doesn't want to. He gets busy doing another thing. He sends me to do a gig, whether it's at a bar or whatever. And it's not really technically. I do my best as far as I can blend the music, but sometimes it's more of a request. But I do. But I enjoy MCing, master of ceremonies for private events, for weddings, quinceañeras. Hype man for the wedding. Like if you hire me for your MC, you can check out some of the reviews that the DJ Cream has gotten. There's like the hype man was this, the hype man was that, and then I know it's because what I do. I would have loved to done your quinceañera, but I was booked.
Knew you did that, bro.
But I was actually booked that day because otherwise I wouldn't even stop by. But I was booked. I was booked for my quinceañera for the other day.
Who was it? Shout out to homie Kilo. He was telling us that you were his hype man for one. Right?
Yeah.
For back in the day.
Oh, it was I've been a hype man for Lil Cass, and I've been a hype man for Louis the Great. And I was actually managing them for a little bit, about a year. I did the best that I could. I didn't know technically, but I did contribute some things like Lil Cass logo. We're the ones that came up with the idea.
Yeah.
I had the graphic artist that I was working with. I wanted to create the design of him, the way that it looks with the hat, including the little cast. We came out with an idea for some shirts that have what he was trying to do with narco trap. So we blended in some narco people from all back in the days, but gave him a thug look and little cast in the back. So we helped kind of sort of create some of the things for them. Louis the Great, we did a documentary on him. I helped put that together with them.
Louis the Great, he's a great guy, man.
There's a documentary on him. I don't know if you saw it. Well, I was behind the scene of lighting up a lot of the interviews that they did with a lot of known DJs here, which is Daniel Boom, Alison Nino at the time when he was on the radio, Kane, and there's a few other people, and even the CEO for Blue and Silver. So we aligned all those to talk about Louis and give him a highlight and things like that. And I love that. I love to watch that thing because we did a great job. I hired the videographer. He was the one to do it. Kind of sort of gave him the idea where we wanted, and he delivered. Yeah. So I done that, but right now just gigs. If you need a master of ceremony, bilingual too, English and Spanish. So I get a lot of compliments for the switch. So I'll be presenting.
Because sometimes people need that. They need to have that English.
They love, but it's only by default now because a lot of our families are mixed like that, right? None of them are not so strong in English, not so strong in Spanish. So you kind of need that balance and that person. And I do a great job. It's saying the person the order for the quinceañera, the wedding, and then switching it to English to be able to still flow nicely. And then on the dance, I still do the same thing because I can relate to hip hop. I can relate to top 40. I can relate to corridos. I can relate to all those. And I give them a little something, and they know it. And they go home feeling great. And then that comes from when I used to MC at clubs before in Dallas. So I used to MC clubs too. And I used to I will always think about the person coming into the club on a Friday night. They worked all week. They probably, I don't know if they love their job or not, but maybe they didn't have a rough week. Or maybe they had a rough week. So they go into the club, they get a couple of drinks in, and by 12:30-ish to 1, there's a look in their face whenever they're gone in a good way. They're in like an epiphany type
of.
They
got that euphoria.
They got that euphoria. Yeah. That's the word I would look at, the euphoria, that they're like, they don't give a damn if the rent was paid, if they even gonna make it. And I love that feeling to watch them. And the DJ and I were working to get him into that because I would know what he coming up with. I know how to do it. I know how to not over talk too much and just keep it really good. Yeah. Interact with the ladies because it's important to get the ladies going. And that's still to this day I like doing that. The MCing.
Damn, bro, that's what's up.
Yeah, hype man for Louis. Yeah, love the work in the stage, bro. I just like the stage.
I actually met them by one of the homies. Shout out to Marty. I met him and Coach. Great people, man.
Coach is the one that I had on the documentary too. He's the one speaking on that documentary about it because he used to record over there.
Yeah, and I met them through him, and one of my students at the time wanted to be a music artist.
Yeah,
and I told him, man, if you did good and stayed well in school, I would pay for like the studio time.
Yeah,
and he didn't stick to his thing and all that. And that's why I said they were good people, man. Like they were.
So Blue and Silver Studios, if you're looking for a quality place, there's also Valley of the Kings. There's a bunch of other ones. Blue and Silver Studios is a really good place to do. They will be honest. They're going to be frank and honest with you as far as if you're not cutting or if it might take you longer than the time that you requested, but you'll come out with a good product as far as your song.
Watch for our album. Me and people are going to drop one. Hits, baby.
Hey,
fire.
Just drop it, bro. Drop some bars.
Bars. I would right now, but these guys just got the plan.
If the show is about you today, bro, there's no reason to.
I can drop bars. I'm good. I'll probably hype you up.
Get into hype man mode.
So how'd you become like the hype man? How'd you get into that? Or
same thing, working on the radio. One of the DJs allowed me to work with him, and I just kind of sort of coached me a little bit, and I just freaking same thing. When I touched the mic on the show that we won, I loved the feeling of having to talk to people or having to play their song, and there was love at first sight. When I touched the mic and was able to connect and was able to have people yelling or singing the song, I fell in love with that shit. It does something to you.
Yeah, he should have done the continue. I would have been so Crispin.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That would have been dope.
Whenever you have like 10 kids, you probably got another quinceañera here in the next few days.
He has 5.
5.
You don't have another quinceañera in a few years?
Yeah.
Book me ahead of time though, because otherwise I can't guarantee
about 8 years, bro. 8 years.
Okay, you got a minute to go.
I'll let you know about 8 years.
My sister in 2 years.
Yeah, let me know.
So I'm definitely.
Let me know.
Yeah, that would definitely work out.
I'm gonna invite everybody.
I hope I'm still reachable at the time because I might be gone.
He's like, he might be a little too famous for us.
And before you know it, like Crispin,
who the fuck is
He's
you?
like, who the fuck are you?
I hope. I don't want the fame. I want my people to get famous. I want the people that I highlight to be famous.
Yeah.
But I know it comes with default of. That's the reason why I'm doing this. But I really want to bring awareness to the podcast itself. I would love y'all to check out some of the episodes, the videos that we'll put out. We have it in video format. We have it in audio format for you to look. But if it happens, it happens. But I just want the people to be highlighted. And again, to show the human person. Because when people start taking your humanity or start calling you by different stuff and you forget you're human, you get treated a certain way. So because of that, I want to make sure that you remember that there's people. Yeah. There are people at the end of the day. And that's what I want. Even though it's the global Latin factor, I want to showcase the people. Because there's a bunch of great stories. From vendors to everything. They have a great story to tell.
That's why I was saying.
Maybe your story was awesome to tell.
I think, and we think your story is awesome. But like I said, I think yours is better. Like, look, you come from being in the Army war to being a cool guy that you get to sit down and have heart-to-heart conversation with people, you know what I mean? Yeah. And bring the best out of them. I mean, that's just true shit. You got to know some shit, go through some shit, and that way you can bring it out on people.
Yeah, but again, as I mentioned earlier, I was gifted with something that I can connect with.
Better than everybody.
No, not that. Not that. But I was given. I was given something that I just can't explain as to why the reason it happens that way. You know. Yeah. That's why I say I don't go for crazy. Maybe one day something will happen crazy, and then maybe I release it. Maybe I don't. Depends. Maybe it depends on the mood that day. Maybe I feel that day was kind of violent. Somebody cut me off, and that day we did a funny something happened weird. Hey. Let's see what happens. But I don't like it. I don't like going that way. Nah. I don't like it. I like nice quality. Again, I'm not a goody two-shoe. I curse. I say all kinds of stupid stuff. I be doing all kinds of crazy stuff that you're not supposed to do. But at the end of the day, but the presentation for the person, I want to honor them with that type of interview for them.
I try to be courteous to everybody and nice. And same as you. I always, even like I said, what you see, if you see us in the street, we're the same person. We're still going to say hi. Yeah. We're not full of ourselves. You can run up to me and be like, "What's up, man?" I mean, like, I don't change. Like earlier today, I was gonna tell you the story, but I told you I was gonna tell you. So earlier today, I was cashing my check, and this dude, he was wearing like a trench coat, black. That's already gave me a red a warning.
It looks funny, right? Whether you want it or not. Okay, we do the eye test. I'll be saying that we all judge, but technically we kind of don't judge, but we do use the eye test, right? You know what that trench coat.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, so this dude is like, he has his little, what was it? This was the shit.
Headphones?
Yeah, headphones, but the
AirPods?
The AirPods.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this shit. And then he stops and he looks at me. He's dead in my eye. But he has like shades on, like, it looks like black construction shades. I don't know what they probably work construction.
Like the welder ones?
Yeah. Or like right here. And he does this. So I don't know if he went like this to me or like this. So he goes.
Which way?
Like this or like this.
Like blood or crib?
I don't know because I was looking at it. He stopped. He looks at me. He goes, but he did it fast. And I'm like, I started to look around like, is he? Like, oh, okay. And he's just doing this shit. Just like looking. I had my little nephew in the car. That's just because he had his hand crushed. I had to pick him up.
Ouch.
So I'm like, man, I'm gonna swing this dude. But he kept doing with his hand. It's like nudging in this. Like, he kept doing this shit, but he kept bugging me.
Was he on something, do you think?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like, look, I was like, man.
Was he blind, first of all, because he was wearing glasses? No,
blind.
For real. Was he blind and you don't know because he was wearing glasses, right?
The bitch. He's like,
yeah, why does he got that stick?
I'm just saying, he's kind of, he wearing black glasses. He looking kind of strange.
He's swinging. Like, I tell everybody, no, he swung at me, fool.
But he was blind.
He's
just trying to find his way through the spot.
Nah, you don't see that motherfucker swing at me, bro.
And then what happened?
Nah, I think he was on some shit, bro.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy behind him. He mugged him too. And he's just like kept bucking it. But he kept throwing his hands up. He kept throwing his. I can't tell you what.
Maybe he had Tourette's, bro. Y'all trying to hit him up. Y'all trying to beat him up.
I said I backed off, and I'm just like, man, I'm about to. This dude, but he just kept throwing signs at me.
Yeah. You know what I've been thinking lately? Like, first of all, there's all kinds of crazies nowadays in the roads, bro. Ever since the pandemic happened, we've been on edge forever and a day. You can't say we haven't, even with road rage and different things like that. So, especially here in Texas, a lot of people be packing. Like, even though as a veteran, I don't sign to a gun anymore because I know
you know the end game of a gun.
Let me get to it because I want to say this piece because I think it's important, right? I respect the Second Amendment. I'm all for you getting your gun and protecting yourself.
Right.
But understand that the military has Tomahawk missiles that can take you out from miles away. But understand that once you have the gun and you acquire the gun, that you are making the decision that you're going to possibly take the life of somebody. If you're not willing to commit to do that, why get the gun? Just to be cool? If you're not confident in yourself, you need to work on that to get there. But don't get it because you're fearful. You think you're going to, because there's consequences behind pulling the trigger. Because I had to make that decision when I was in basic training. When I was in basic training, I didn't realize, I was so naive and protected that I didn't realize I might have to kill somebody until we were marching. We marched cadences. And then one of them was like, the helicopter's hovering. It's hovering overhead. They come and get the wounded. They come and get the dead. Shoot the son of a. Shoot the son of a. And something clicked on me. Shoot the what? And I was so, even though at 19, I was so freaking like, what the fudge? Like, what I get myself into? But then they work you into talking to a chaplain about like, look, you're fighting for this country. Like, if you have to do that, then you know what you're doing it for. But a lot of people don't have the conversation. And the military people, we carry a rubber ducky, we call it, a fake gun forever and a day before we actually get to shoot a gun. They don't just give us guns and just go for it. And then we get a lot of training before we even need to pull the trigger. Meaning, I know how to operate a gun. It makes me nervous when there's people around with guns because they don't know. They don't respect it. If you see a person already grabbing it like this, you already know that they don't know what they're doing.
Sideways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you know that they're doing what they're doing and you can already see their demeanor, that you know that they know how to use the gun. So, and again, not only that, but you have to make the conscious decision that if you buy a gun, you're going to have to use it and you're probably going to have to take somebody's life. Are you ready to make the commitment? If you are, then, and I hope you're able to live with the consequences of taking somebody's life because I don't want to do that.
So you're spoken for real wise work.
I'm just saying, bro, I'm a better.
No, that's real, bro. That's real.
And there's a problem, obvious problem with the things that we have in place right now with guns. Why do we have the most mass shootings ever? It's not an accident.
No, it's not. I mean,
and everybody knows, but some of them are fearful that they're really gonna take their guns. But again, if the government wanted to get you, you'll be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that simple.
That's simple, like that. Your little whatever you have ain't gonna do nothing against a Tomahawk missile or any kind of missile that they have, or the new Stellar that they just developed. Man, you're not gonna do nothing.
Yeah. And the accuracy that these things hit you with,
Bro. They don't even have to get you that close.
It's crazy.
They can hit you outside of the door and still kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for y'all's Second Amendment, but just learn to be educated with the gun, train the gun. Another argument is that, oh yeah, if somebody was to invade us, then we got the most guns. What's the point of having the most guns in this country if we can't shoot for shit?
Yeah.
Imagine if we trained and shot efficiently. If anybody was to invade, how much efficient would we be if anybody was to invade us? We would take them out. But now, I don't know, because none of these knuckleheads go and train. Some of them do, and they take it serious, and they're the ones that I respect. But some of them just get the gun just because they don't even know how to shoot it, load it, or anything. Or, if it gets stuck. So that's my thing with the guns, bro. More power to y'all, but just I hope y'all make that decision already, because you're gonna have to live with it.
Usually the people that can't fight that has the guns.
I think so too.
I'm old school. I'll fight you. Like
it used to be back in the day.
I have no problem with fighting somebody. Like I'm cool with that. Like if I have a problem with somebody, or somebody has a problem with me, and they were like, "Hey, let's fight," I'd be like, "Cool."
Yeah, I got a couple of school fights and things like that, because that's the way you deal with things. And
let's go at it real quick.
I ain't saying this. I'm not saying violence is the key, right? But some of that aggression, some of that intensity, some of the animosity.
Right.
Once you start going, y'all most likely are cool, or maybe y'all don't talk to each other anymore after that.
But at the end of the day, it's something that you already got out your system.
Yeah,
I feel like
and then y'all don't have any animosity, or maybe y'all don't care about each other. But there's the animosity is not there for y'all to like bump each other.
I feel like that's part of manhood.
Maybe
because I mean, it's like, okay, it's growing up. You got to go through stuff like this. You got to get your first heartbreak, and we all been through that. We all remember.
Mine was later, but yeah.
But you went through it. Now you know what to expect. What you have you see life differently. Same thing with the fight. You got to be able to know that you could throw down.
Yeah.
Either you got to go through it so that way you know what violence truly is.
Yeah, it helps with confidence to be able to be able to throw. It does.
Or it helps you with, okay, maybe I'm not a fighder. You know what I mean?
You might not be.
I need to learn how to defend.
But at least you stood your ground, and you were not. The bullying thing is crazy to me, but I get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, there was a particular accident when I was in middle school that this guy did a line. Like, he put a line on the ground, crossed it. He was, like, known for being tough and fighting people and whatever. And he had his crew. He wanted to punk me. And I used to say, now I politic probably to get out of a situation, but I used to say I'd rather take an ass whooping than I take a punking. You're never gonna punk me. You'll beat my ass before I get punked by you.
Yeah.
So I used to say that when I was younger. So I'm like, fuck it. If I get beat up, I get beat up, but I'm not gonna get punked. So he did that line and said, cross it, see what's up. And he was doing this shit. There you go. Well, whatever happens, bro. Cause there's a bunch of people watching. And I was a young 12-year-old kid, barely came from Mexico. I'm like, nah, bro. Fuck it. Let me get my ass kicked and see what happens. But you're not gonna punk me. Like, if I retrieve, if I don't cross the line, if I submit to you, even then I knew that, then I'll forever be a punk.
It's never gonna stop too.
If I'll forever be a punk to all them people, and them, I said, fuck it. And a lot of them, like, they were like, I think they were on the same page as me. I'm like, man, this fucking asshole. Like, fuck this guy. But, he'll beat us up. And then they're respecting me, and they're all cool with me later on. But I don't know. I said, fuck it, swing. And then when I did that shit, he kind of acted like he was going to. I was like, fuck it. Whatever happens. And he's like, you all right, man. You cool. I'm like, fuck it. Sometimes, respect. Sometimes it just takes the act of you standing for yourself and be able to put that. I'm not saying it's going to work out for the best, but a punch in the face is not going to kill you. But if you submit and if you don't decide to stand up for yourself and cross that line, you're going to get put in a worse situation. You're not gonna get out of it. I had to stand up for myself. Whether I took my ass whooping or not, it didn't matter. Whatever happened, maybe he punched me, maybe no, or maybe I find out I'm a good boxer. But I say fuck it.
Or maybe I needed a good nap.
I just came from Mexico, so I was always physical. So I'm pretty sure I could have done better. So man, let's go. So I did it.
Mexico, everything you walk this.
Yeah,
you guys are more healthier over there.
So maybe I was in that condition. I didn't know. He didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But again, you were not going to punk me, and then I was gonna submit to you, and that goes for everybody now in life in general. No, we're gonna have a pleasant human to human conversation. You're gonna treat me as such, and if you forget, I'm gonna remind you that we're people, and you're gonna have to come to like, hey, I'm not over here, I'm not over there, I'm right here with him too, whoever you are.
I think people forget that there's so many keyboard warriors nowadays.
That's so easy.
You know what I mean?
And even I was talking to Mandy Red. Shout out to Mandy Red. We had an interview earlier. So something happens whenever they do that, and more recently, I've been more empathetic towards those people. Like I delete not a lot. Some comments, if I was bad taste, I'm like, nah, it's easy for me. But then I think about it like, damn, bro, what kind of day did you have? Or how is your life going? That you want to take time of your life to write a comment about something irrelevant that didn't even go with the video you were watching and say something dumb and laugh about it. You got problems. And I hope your life gets better, but you're not going to pass it on to my people to read. No, I'm going to delete that shit. And that's just for me until I'm able to.
I don't know.
Not me. I get petty.
I think I start writing back somebody.
It's good for the algorithm. Don't get me wrong. It's good for the algorithm to go back and forth. So it's really good.
But I don't know. Like I said, I get petty too because I'm like,
I get petty.
I get super petty.
You want to say something? Well, let me say something back.
I can get super petty. Yeah, like super petty here. Like especially the people that comment on TikTok that don't even have content. Like, why you scared of the camera, bro? Why you scared to show your face? Like, hey, are you that failed, though? You must be horrible, though. You don't want to. But I'm like, let me empathize with him instead and be like, bro, I don't know what you're going through. It's always
the young cats, though. It's always.
But like I said, I don't know what you're going through in your life. I hope it gets better, and I hope one day you'll be looking back at the comment like, "Damn, I really said that. Oh my goodness, what the hell was I thinking?"
Don't come at me because I come back at you.
Yeah, I taught him a lesson.
I'll just delete it.
No problem.
I'll just delete it. Bad taste.
I'll make a video about you.
I'm teaching them a lesson. It's like
content.
Yeah, I'll make a video about.
Hey, that could be a segment.
This motherfucker over here was talking some shit. We gonna handle it right now.
Hey, whenever we get the comments. Oh yeah, good cat. Look at them reflexes.
Yeah, reflexes.
Get the comments of the pettiest people, so y'all can have like a second hint, and y'all just talk about all them.
Bro,
but y'all look at their profile and just
start
go in,
motherfucker.
Just go in. Bro, that'll be hilarious.
Write that down, Kenny. We're gonna be definitely.
That'll be hilarious because like you can look at their pictures and everything and like, oh really, bro? Okay, roast session. Here we go.
We're good at that shit.
Hey, roast the crap out all the comments, and then tag the video. To the video. You can auto reply with it and tag it to them so they can see that. Like, hey, you go, puto. Is
so I'm just telling you.
Excuse the cuss word, but you know.
No, you can cuss it here.
Yeah, you come at me, but proceed with caution because I will talk shit.
And I'm going for everything.
It's a fair game of the internet, but for me, I just delete.
Bye. I get you, bro. I mean,
bye. And some are just stupid, bad taste stuff.
No,
like retarded stuff.
Some just has no necessity for it, and it's like,
see,
why?
If you make a comment about me and it's funny as hell, I keep it.
Oh yeah, I like the funny ones.
I like the funnier shit. Like
I just like to keep it again.
Yeah,
not cookie cut, but I just like it's not necessary.
So
that's not the type of ambience.
Where do you see yourself at, like with your show? What direction are you going with the show now?
First, let me read this part that we have on our YouTube, and it's mostly part of the kind of sort of what the definition of the Global Latin Factor came to me. And it's on the YouTube. You can find it. So our podcast is about the impact Latinos have made as a result of many generations that continue to better themselves in a way that has affected the way we live in the U.S. and the world. The diverse culture of the Latino has influenced everyday life, such as food, music, art, business, economy, politics, and many more sectors in the world. We highlight Latinos that have either been alive or dead, cover food. So pretty much we highlight community Latinos. So pretty much we talk about Latino everything and the impact they're making right now. So pretty much the mission that I wrote is to become an authority in the Latino content as far as showcasing Latinos, Latino culture, and just pretty much showing the world that we're just human, just like you, just a little spicier. And there was a video I heard. There's a video I heard of some gentleman. I can't find the video anymore. That's when I was looking into different Latino terms because I have to know about it. I don't know everything about Latino. Every day I'm learning more, but I have to be able to know. And there was a part he said where he said, here to participate. Like, we're not here to take over black businesses, white businesses, or demeanor you, make you smaller or nothing. We're just here to participate so we can make this country a whole lot better, the way that it was originally intended to be. You know, we're not against you. We're not trying to take you nothing. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of this. You know, book us for your next event. We'll book you too, as long as you do a great job. Right. But we're not here to take over nothing. We're here to participate, because I still feel that when we were only a few little human beings, we really participated with each other. We really fought for each other to make sure every single one of us survive in order for us to procreate to become 8 billion people now till this day now.
With that being said, I feel like we're our worst enemy. I don't know if you agree or disagree, and give me your thoughts on that.
As far as a human being or oneself?
Latinos in general.
Mexican in general. Because and I've seen this, and this is my why I say this.
Yeah.
Because when I was working in construction, I was working with nothing but people that were Mexicans, Salvadorans, Latinos, right?
Yeah.
And
shout out to you for working construction. We talked about, I would never do it.
I ain't not this Mexican.
That's why I found out I'm an indoor.
That's hilarious. But I just know now. But go ahead. I just
know that. But bro, like I would every day. Every day they hated me. They disliked me. Just because I spoke English and I spoke Spanish. I spoke both languages.
Yeah.
And none of them spoke English at all. But I'm just like, well, whose fault is that? Is that mine or yours?
Yeah.
You know, and when the bosses would come talk to me, they would get jealous. Instead of applauding me and you know, helping me out, they were trying to get me fired. Mm-hmm. And not only that, it happened everywhere we go. It's just like, it's always a Mexican talking down on other Mexicans instead of, you know, helping each other, helping be like, hey, good job, Carnal. You're representing very well for our people. It's never that. It's always hate.
See, it's okay, so I get where you're coming from and I get what you're saying, but us Latinos have to, or Mexicanos have to understand that we come from places, little towns where our parents most likely were alcoholic, abusive, and there's a lot of trauma still. I know a lot of people throw that like it's nothing, but if you're only shown that the only way to discipline is to beat you behind or talk to you very badly, that's the way to do, then when you get to the real world, it takes hard to, unless you become aware that you can change that, then you're always going to be that type of person until you get that click in your mind and you start changing. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with our worst enemy. I think more of greed is more, but what are you really... That's also comes with the trauma of not having enough and having to bust your ass for a company that you're never going to own for a little paycheck at that time. Instead of knowing that you are able to do different things, you're able to do whatever you want to. But your limited belief, which is not their fault, again, it just depends on how they grew up and where they came from. They just don't have that yet. And they haven't come to the realization that it's possible. And then some of them go on to become bosses and create their own construction companies and different things like that. And some of them just happy with working. And then, of course, their dad used to abuse them. So, you know, and we already have the disconnect of you knowing English, and all of a sudden you, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's in our genetics too, feel like, wow, you think you're better than me? Like, that's pendejo. Like, you think you're better than me because you know English type of stuff, but it's not true. But for whatever reason, whatever mentality they have, they're also carrying that with them. So I think greed, I think not being educated, I think not growing as a person. And again, I don't blame them, but until they get to a place where they can grow as a person more, then maybe they can get away from that. So, and it sucks that we have to deal with that, you know?
Yeah.
I never had a problem with it, maybe because I'm morenito. Maybe because I'm darker tone and they don't really care. They know that I'm with them. And I try to help as much as I can.
Mexican.
He's one of ours.
Kind of like that, but I'm taking a gringo now. I got my citizenship.
He thinks he's too good now.
Yeah, but even if they said that, that's the thing is that another thing that we circulate in our mind is what they think. Like whatever lenses they look at is to be our own factor. That's not true. Like whatever you see me in your eyes is your own fucking, your own beliefs, your own everything. The lenses you're looking me through is the things, the experiences, or whatever it is that you had in your life. That doesn't mean that's me.
Right.
That's not me. Me, I know who I am. Whatever you want to put me, that's cool. If we get along, fine. If we don't, it's cool too. There's 8 billion people in this world. If we don't want to have an interaction, it's okay. Maybe the next one will have a cool interaction. But it's not that. It's you looking at me, but I don't agree. I don't sign to that. I'm who I am. Whatever you want to look at me, whether you think I'm me creo mucho, whether you think I'm moreno and I'm less than you because you're güero, it doesn't matter to me. That doesn't qualify for me. I don't care. You might think, but that's your feeling. That's not me. Because nobody can control this. Nobody can control this but me. I do that.
Gotcha.
I do that.
Do you think your opinion has changed now that you became an American?
What was that?
Do you think your opinion has changed now that you became an American?
Oh, yeah, man. Let me talk to the manager. Nah, so...
I have rights.
There was a slight feeling of entitlement to if I had a problem with the cops, I'll be able to tell them off. I don't know why. Yeah. Shout out to the police officer. I ain't got nothing against you, but I feel like I just wanted to throw in somebody's face. I'm an American citizen.
Yeah.
But
I have rights.
But besides that, I'm like, yeah. It was just a jokey thing. I'm like,
because now, like I was watching I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, like I don't know if there was an episode.
I enjoy watching all of them.
Like where he had there was a girl that was brought from Mexico, at a young age, and this and that, and about DACA, and then you had other people come in, so like, well, she needs to go back. She's a criminal. And even people that came from over here illegally and got their papers now, they're like, well, she needs to go to process like everyone else. Do you feel like does that change your opinion on?
No, because I know the struggles. Because I got here illegally. I was taking my dad got sick, so my dad was here. My dad was a resident from the embassy in '85. Then he brought my mom illegally, and then brought all of us because he got sick. So my mom had to come over to take care of him. Then of course, how you gonna leave your kids behind? We were fine over there, but we're going para el norte. So we crossed in the bus all the way to La Frontera. We went under the freaking... They turned us over to the Coyote at that time. We used to have Coyotes. And then we went past the river. I made sure I didn't get wet. So I didn't call me the backward. And then I was totally dry. I promise you. And then we went under a fence, under a softball field. We ran into a burger place and we stayed there for a little bit, make sure that the immigration wasn't chasing us. Yeah. And then we went to a hotel and stayed there until we were going to catch our flight because we were going to be portrayed that lady's kids. That's how they used to do back in the days. Yeah. And we got here illegally still. And then we had to go through all the process of becoming legals, fines that you have to pay for crossing illegally, attorney fees that you have to pay for crossing illegally and all that. It's easy for me to say, but I don't understand how hard it was because I wasn't the one paying. It was my dad. But everybody knows that the Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicanos have a harder time. It's longer to do their process than anybody else. And that's just, you can ask Europeans that do their process to come over here. It's a whole lot longer. So to answer your question it just takes longer. It's not an easy process to do. It's easy to say, but you are fortunate that you are able to be born here. But the ones that give me a funny feeling are the one like myself that became a citizen. All of a sudden, I want to go back. Go like, get the hell out of here. They are here. They're already originally from here. Yeah. What are you talking about? What do you mean go back to where you come? They are here where you came from. You just made it seem on a paper or imaginary border, they're not from here. Yeah. Because technically, that's imaginary that we agreed upon that's the border, but they're not.
Well, we didn't agree. They took it.
Yeah, and then not to mention if it was a kid, if I didn't have no say so when I was 11. If my dad say, my grandpa said we're leaving, we're going to the norte.
Hey, we're crossing this border. All right, yeah, cool.
What say so do I have as a kid?
And see, I was brought at weeks. I was brought at 2 weeks old. How the fuck am I gonna be like, ma?
We should really stay. It's illegal.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, this is ridiculous and stupid, to think about that. And of course, you're an uneducated probably if you're listening to this and you're getting your chonis in a wob, but you don't understand the whole process because you're fortunate enough that you're not dealing with that and you haven't gone through that. But for somebody that understands where that comes from and how difficult it is to get that status, and then how almost I messed it up, but I owed it to my dad and my mom that they put all this money not to fuck it up so I can go back to Mexico, even as a veteran, and get my stuff right and become a citizen. So
wait, what you mean?
I if I kept getting in trouble, I could have lost my residency before I became a citizen. Oh, that's what I told you earlier. I could have lost it.
Yeah.
But shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to all the people that are putting their people. Be patient. Keep fighting. Don't let your dreams down. I understand. I was in your position at one time, and I know it's getting critical, but I understand. Just keep doing whatever you're pursuing and just keep doing it, because you don't ever know when the next one's going to be. These politicians play ping pong with immigration like it ain't nothing, like it's not important. But one of these days, when you get the opening, man, go in full force and get your status corrected so you can be paying your taxes, because you're already paying taxes anyways.
Just want to, yeah.
You already pay taxes. That immigration, if I'm not mistaken, I heard something that the money that the immigrants don't collect back in income tax is the money that's funding Social Security to keep it alive. I wouldn't doubt if it's true.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
And you know what?
You have to pay taxes. We still have to do our part.
I'm done. I'll put this out there. I'm done to debate or just want to talk. If you're one of those racist KKK members want to come on the show, I'm more than welcome you to sit down and talk to.
Racist.
Nah,
I mean,
they'll probably do it on the.
Or you know what? On the what she said, like the cam.
They'll probably do it on the cam, bro. They won't do it.
But I mean, I'm down. Let's talk about it. Like, why do you feel the way you feel? I'm okay.
But here's the thing, though. No matter how much you try, they already have a belief, right? They have a belief that they may believe, and they sold to them that that's the case. And they already even told that these people are not even, they're criminals, so they're not even people. You see see what I keep emphasizing? They're humans.
Yeah.
To bring that wall down, no pun intended. To bring that mental wall,
right? That
we are people, that we do have rights, that we have things and struggles just like you, but at the same time you couldn't relate because you already have that wall up. And that's why I keep emphasizing about being a human, being a person, this and that, because after that, they can't take away that humanity, our rights. You won't get much. I'm almost for certain you wouldn't get much because you really fully have to be educated. I will probably bring a lawyer with you to further educate them, but they wouldn't understand. They have a belief made that that's what it is because they were sold on it. Because I'm not trying to call you weak-minded, but you're kind of weak-minded if you wanted to. If you got washed into that narrative to think that that's what it is. It sounds like a commercial.
That's funny how America is based on a bunch of immigrants. It's not. That's all it is. It's nothing but immigrants.
The foundation from this country was freedom, persecution of freedom, to come here to start. And then all of a sudden, we find out there's a lot of fertile land here. There's a lot of money to be made. So guess what? Otro? We're gonna cut you off.
Yeah, no more for Peter.
So that's what we started, and then they started sending the people that the people that were not. Like that didn't agree with their religion, so I'll send them over there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, oh, wait a minute, there's a lot of money going on over there.
So I wanted to ask y'all. I actually wanted to get in your input because earlier I think you remind me so much. I think, and even on Facebook, you put it up on your pictures. Is that Aztec? Like,
which one?
On your Facebook, I think it looked
the
like
picture earlier.
Yeah,
it's the AI thing going around.
Okay,
I don't know where they got it from.
I thought it was.
I probably get my personal information to him, but it's just an AI picture.
I was agreeing that you kind of remind me of that dude from what's that Black Panther movie? The vato, what's his name?
Namor.
Yeah, no, mi amor. Nah, stop, bro.
No, Namor.
Stop.
Akukukan.
Yeah. La tuya. Toma, culero. No, but you know what?
For now, we greet each other like that.
Okay? We should.
I love that movie, bro. I watched it with my nieces.
I haven't.
Go watch it.
I haven't seen it either.
But, you watched it with
you watched it with your partner.
I watched it, but I didn't watch it. But the thing is that like now, it's there's two things I'm going with this. Because the first is like it made us people proud. Like if you're Aztec or Mayan, it made you proud because now we're all gonna start doing this stuff, But it made people want to go back and be like, okay, we want to learn into our culture, but we shouldn't wait for a movie to be proud of our own culture. Second, there was you have other Mexicans talking about that. Then why didn't they use like the light-skinned Mexicans? I mean, only I don't know if you see what I'm trying to say. Is that the light-skinned Mexicans were like, oh, that wasn't an actual portrayal of real.
If you think that just because you're Mexican, you can't be racist, you're so
wrong.
Yeah,
we are racist.
The most racist.
And even in Mexico, I couldn't relate to anybody in the novela unless it was one of the workers.
Never.
Unless it was one of the workers.
Yeah.
Getting beat up and abused by the owner.
Yeah.
And even that made me pissed off. Like, bro, you put one of those things in me and see what happens. Type of situation. That's how crazy I felt about it. Like, nah. But I didn't connect with him.
Right.
But you have this European looking gentleman, handsome, but I'm not related. I'm not related to him.
Yeah.
But it's better for the eyes for the audience. But I don't care for them. I don't care.
Those are the ones that were complaining about Namor.
Of course they were. Why wouldn't they? They had hundreds of years, had it easy. All of a sudden now they take it away. Yeah. Or not even take it away. A slight possibility of what could happen if you include people that are a little bit darker skin.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they could make a freaking Marvel movie. Yeah. And then we have a problem now.
And not just the Marvel,
even though 100 years
Marvel movie.
Yeah, the biggest box office movie. Not to mention, you've been having years after years, hundreds of years being on TV doing
making
that,
all them shitty
and all of a sudden now it's a bad whatever. No, just look inside, look in the mirror, and say like, damn, I'm racist. I really am.
Yeah. Because when I saw him on, I was proud. I'm not gonna. Hey, shout out to the actor. I would love to sit down and talk to him and meet him.
Namor, the Council Show, the Global Laugh Factor, would love to talk to you. Clip this also, put it on TikTok. And tag him.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But another thing that he brought awareness that a lot of people already know, but everybody wants to look the other way, is the fact that there's a lot of indifference of the work that lighter skinned Mexicanos get compared to dark Mexicanos.
No, yeah, he's been bringing that.
Oh, he's been talking out about it
all over the place.
Yeah, and he's getting heat for what?
Yo, I'm gonna say this on here. I was very aware of that when I became an actor.
Oh yeah, you act, so you know what the deal is.
I ain't act. No, when I became an actor, I was very aware that I wanted to be more lighter skinned porque morenos as a moreno.
So you used to be darker? You bleached?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe because I did work under the sun.
I'm messing with you, bro.
No, it's because I did work under the sun, so I would be like quemado del sol.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, fuck. When I get a camera, I want to look more light skinned, but because I'm aware that when we just talk about it, it's like.
So from personal experience by doing acting that happens. It's not like, oh, he just said something and it's not true.
Nah, if you say that, If people.
But the problem is the other people they know, all the other light skinned, all of a sudden they felt offended.
Yeah.
Cállese la boca, stupid.
Facts.
Like, tuvieron bastantes años. You had a lot of years. Muchos años. Deja de decir español porque no entienden los güeyes. Porque yo sí soy mejor que ustedes porque yo soy morenito y sé inglés de Estados Unidos. Y soy gringo. I'm just kidding, I'm not. Pero miren, ustedes ya tuvieron muchos años en las películas.
Yeah.
Dejen que los morenos continúen porque son parte de la raza humana, aunque les guste o no. Especialmente esos reporteros que hablan cosas estupideces. Oye, somos gente. Pero se te está olvidando porque dices que te están quitando la chamba. Todavía tienes tu chamba. Cálmate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So flipping in Spanish like that?
I saw it, bro. But I saw that because I saw that little Spanish shows, they started like...
I saw the same clip.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how are we going to attack...
You should congratulate the man for doing such a badass job.
Thank you for bringing...
We're proud of tequila. We're proud of mariachis.
Yeah.
We should just be as proud for Namor.
I want to say something about tequila, but I know I'm gonna start some shit.
No, the actual artisan tequila that comes from the...
No, but it's just... I'm getting sick and tired of Area the rapper.
Oh, yeah. That's a problem.
That everybody wants to jump on tequila. The Rock. But they know nothing about our culture.
I don't like that either.
And this is what I mean. It's gonna sound fucked up. But I'm like, if you're going to sponsor our shit, be saying some shit that like we go through, like the immigration shit, speak up on it.
I got to interview Alex Raimundo, the original Latin Kings of Comedy over Skype.
No shit.
Yeah. And he has a tequila. Number Juan tequila. Please drink responsibly, but go grab you some of that number Juan.
Hey, we're going to get it.
At that time, I just wanted, like, the only deal was that in order for me to interview him, I'll have to drink some tequila. I told him I'm not a big drinker like that, but, this is only going to be a one time that I get to talk to you. So, fine. I'll pour me up a little bit of his tequila.
Yeah.
Excellent tequila. Number one tequila. Go grab you some from Alex Raimundo. He's a partnership with I can't remember the other gentleman's name. But anyways, he's part of the owner, and he goes out to the actual vineyards or the not vineyards, the place where they make tequila.
Yeah.
And sees the process out there. He actually went and was a jimador for a day to try to, cut. He cut the agave.
Yeah.
The piña to put it in the oven and make the whole process. Yeah. So his tequila, go grab some.
Actually, that's what I've been wanting to do. That's been a dream of mine.
Yeah.
Start my own tequila, but I don't know how I want it. Not too strong, but I want something smooth. But I mean, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. But the thing is that I'm getting tired of watching everyone else go to Mexico and tequila this, tequila that.
So one fun fact about tequila, that the agave plant can only be grown in certain parts of Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nowhere else in the world.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like, it is illegal for you to do it anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, it is.
Or just say tequila.
It's protected by the Mexican government, and they're not going to let that go.
But, that's what I'm saying.
But they are letting it go by letting all these freaking celebrities diluting it.
There you go.
They're giving you the cheap crap. Like, whenever I see people talking about, like, oh, Jose Cuervo the best, I'm like, are you, like, tequila? Listen to me, people. Tequila, you don't shoot tequila. You drink it very, very slowly. You taste everything that was put, all the hard work to get a tequila to be made for you, and chase it with something nasty, because it's not supposed to be nasty.
Yeah.
It comes all the way from the Aztecs. Tequila was already made all the way back to it. It has a lot of history. And some of the people don't understand that, as to the other celebrities don't understand the history, and all of a sudden they put it, which I get it, but Mexico shouldn't allow that.
That's what I'm saying.
Money
talks, but again, see how we could be leveraging that. All right, you want to do tequila, but you got to help us out on this fucking issue. Like,
no, you need to take a whole course.
Look at these
and go through a whole day of jimador.
Exactly.
And then you have to go through the whole day of throwing it in the oven. And once you completed your course of knowing about the history of tequila and doing jimador for a day and put it in the oven, then you get your certificate. Then you certify that you know about tequila. Guess what? Welcome aboard.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. We could be using that to leverage for the kids, for better schools, for a lot of things, and they don't do shit.
Yeah, like my thing is that just in any culture, you can look at anything. People will take stuff from a culture and exploit it, but not get back to the community that they're taking it from.
Oh yeah, they ripping.
It happens to black culture. It happens to Mexican, every culture in the world.
They still raping the culture, the essence of the actual tequila. They're trying to speed up the process for the ban, but tequila is not supposed to be the process sped up. You can only have so many. Not to mention the agave plants, bro. The agave plants is like that. Once they're done. You have to regrow and everything else. So it takes a long time.
Yeah, it's a long process
for the maturity of the agave plant to get to the maturity level. I think it takes about 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, for the plant to get to maturity, and then they cut it. So what they doing, they don't even get to maturity yet, where they're already chopping it up and throwing it in the oven. And now they do all these fast ovens where they make it faster and they cook it quicker. Usually 48 hours it takes on a brick oven to cook the agave plant. Yeah. And then later on they put it through the distiller. It takes maybe like freaking a few hours, maybe 7 hours or less. Yeah. So they are the quality of tequila is freaking being taken, all kinds of stuff. The people who deserve the credit for it, which is the Mexicanos, to have the tequila is being taken away, and we allowing it. Mexico, the Mexican government is allowing it.
Exactly.
And if you're a consumer too of this crap, come on, at least educate yourself on who you buy. Like again, Alex Raimundo is one of the ones that I know personally because I interview. You can go grab his tequila, and the price point for that is even great. And he's not paying me for this, but I'm saying if you want to support a Mexicano, Mexican American that's done it, there you go. Or if anybody that's artisanal that really came from the bottom up and is building his brand that is not a celebrity, I guarantee you that tequila is a much better quality than the crap they're selling you of all these freaking celebrities. They are raping it. They don't even know nothing about. Exactly. I guarantee it. If you ask them, maybe one or two will know that the Aztecs were dealing with tequila back in the days. Yeah, that's it.
Facts.
Facts. So buy the good shit.
Yeah.
Don't buy that fucking overpriced fucking multi-mass.
I'm gonna do an episode about the tequila, and then we'll break down that stuff too.
Yeah.
And they play with you. Like the celebrities are really good at manipulating the masses. Everything that's going on with a certain celebrity, certain things are just a mask, like a screen, a smoke screen of what they're really trying to push.
Right.
So when Kyle, what's the name, that Jenner chick that has a tequila brand, they went and shot a photo session somewhere with the agaves and made her skin darker tone.
Oh yeah,
get the heck out of here! Are you serious?
Try to get her to fit in,
bro. But we so cool. Look, but we so cool that they want to darken their skin to fit in to the things that they can't, because they would never understand.
Cool, but yet, when people are dark skinned, the plays in the movie like,
but again,
against that.
By default, it's already so cool that they're trying to be us, but they can't. Like, y'all don't see that? Like, come on.
Seriously.
They try to portray it look like us. They try to add all kinds of stuff to be like us. Like, and again, the global Latin factor, we're embedded within the culture of everything that we do, and it still shows every single day and everything.
Facts.
So,
oh man,
we're so freaking cool, bro.
Yeah.
As Latinos, or Mexicanos, whichever you want to. Again, I just prefer the human being, but we are so freaking cool the way we are that they're literally wanted to be just like us.
Exactly.
But they could never relate.
Yeah, us folks with melanin, we special.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Very special.
Children of the sun, they call us at one time. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, man, we're thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. First, thank you for your service again. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome, but never again.
I'm never doing this shit again.
Where can people reach you at, man?
I would prefer for all y'all to go find the Global Latin Factor podcast. The Global Latin Factor podcast. It's even on my cup that I brought with me. And go follow it. And from there, you'll find mine, Crispin Valentin. I'm all over the place. All my social media is the same. But I just wanted to be able to get the message across of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Go follow. We're putting out some great content. We don't mind dealing with the celebrities, but we prefer the people to highlight the human beings of different aspects. And if you're a Latino that you think your story is worth telling, hit me up. We can chop it up and see what it is. There's not like a criteria for people that I want to have, but I really want to have people that are committed to what they've been doing. A lot of times I look how long they've been doing it. Some of the people that you see me interview, they've been doing their thing for some time, 5 years or more. So that shows commitment to what you're doing. Everybody has dreams. And I'm all for your dreams, but understand that unfortunately I do have to run this as a business. In the few beginning years of business, this is still all expenses and no profit yet. But it is a business, so I have to make very specific decisions of who I have, So if you're one that has a story, wherever you're at in the country or in the world, I've interviewed people from California, Missouri, so I'm able to do it too. I prefer to have you on studio, but if you have a story worthy of telling, if you know some fun facts, I would love to talk to you to show your your human side and tell your story to somebody. Hopefully they can motivate that they can do it too. So it's not 5 years necessarily, but sometimes I really stick to it. It always depends. Sometimes I feel they're really passionate, and some of y'all have done some things for some time, like you're acting and different things. So I felt like, hell yeah.
He
We
looks
were
at
in
me,
the
goes,
same
different
place.
things.
Huh? What was that?
I said, you look at me, you're like, and different things.
You speak well, bro. You can't you know what to say. You're real quick with it, but a little preparation, go you'll be a star. Like, as long as you know. But again, to each their own. Everybody's different. However, the one size fits all mold is just like, man, we all want to do that, but it's not true because we all so different. Personally, from every genes and everything, we're just different. Your fingerprints, you're already unique. You're already special. You're already everything. You just gotta realize that you're not nothing like nobody else, and you just have to express that to the world. That's who you are. What do you do? How to carry yourself, and then that's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I got a few things to say.
Go for it, broski.
For one, Crispin, I would like to acknowledge that you are probably one of the hardest working dudes in this business. Just your work ethic is impeccable. Like, you put so much thought and effort into what you do, and I admire that about you. I actually look up to you in the aspect of what you do and how you do it. Whenever we started our podcast, I would look at ours and I'm like, look at Crispin's.
Yeah.
Like, his is so nice and so well thought of, And we tried to not model ourselves to you, but to get us to that quality level,
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that because at the end of the day, we're looking at you do your thing so we can do our thing,
Yeah.
And even though we're completely different, it's still all in the same group and it still belongs to the same thing. So I want to say thank you for being as hard of a worker as you are and for really helping us out because you helped us out a lot when we first started and you helped us get guests and you actually gave us advice on how to do things. And I appreciate that. And for that, I will always thank you about that. And, appreciate you doing your thing, bro.
And that goes out to every podcast out there. Like, look, like sometimes I'm like everybody else. If I don't know you, I don't I don't know what your intentions are. So I keep you from a distance and watch. And once you get to know you, I'm very helpful. Whatever questions you have about getting started with podcasts, I looked at YouTube videos and learned the game and then started doing it and kind of picture the way I wanted to. But I really have a passion for looking into these people's information to put out. And I'm all about presentation. Like, again, I start with the name, the logo and everything, and then just build from there. But I didn't start it like that. My first episode looks very crappy. But it took some time to get it to where I needed to be. And I got it to where I want to be now at this point. But there's more progression in the future. And eventually I want to get it there. But for right now, it's where I'm content with where it's at to a point. I just want to go further. Yeah. So shout out to y'all though, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That people don't know that y'all drive a very far away, and maybe people don't realize how much work y'all put into it too. I appreciate the kind words. It really means a lot. And again, I'm very helpful as far as you want to learn about podcasts. But shout out to y'all because I understand it's tough, and because I know that it's tough, that y'all make it happen, that y'all make the long drive to get it done. It does show that you have passion, and if you keep finding a way, and find a way will appear for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And for us, man, I mean, you can catch us anything on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. We're everywhere, and so just go under the Cancel Show. You'll find us. Well, till next time.
Peace.
Bus.